So that New Year's thing is about to happen again, they say. Is that right? Is that accurate? You guys heard about that? The New Year's thing, they say. I wonder sometimes about time. Whose idea was that shit? Time. I wonder if they, you know who they are. I wonder if they made time just to fuck with me. Just to fuck with me. Waiting for the year to end. Waiting for Christmas. Glad that shit's over with. Putting shit behind me. Looking forward to what's next. Dreading what's next. I don't know about you, but I ain't got no time to be present now. Wait, what did I say? I gotta be careful. I don't want to sound like Eckhart Tolle. Be ripping him off. I love that guy. No time to be present right now. You ever been present for a minute? No, not for a minute. But you have been present now, haven't you? You've had that. I don't know about you, but when I'm fully present, what I most want to do is watch a clock. Again. You know, when you're doing something you really like and just time just goes, you're doing something you really hate and the time goes. What about choosing to be present now? Well, I'll do that for a minute, but then I've got to get to the. As soon as I figure out what I'm going to do when that happens, I will be present. Oh, you know you've been doing that shit. Of course, you didn't think it out in words because then you'd be fucking crazy. I had the little group spell break session. I ended it 1 minute before I clicked this button, and I ran to go brush my teeth and take a pee. I know you guys care about my bodily functions. Take a minute before starting this one. And I kind of sort of almost had a thought about, I wonder what will be the most helpful today. What will be the most helpful thing that I can bring to these crazy motherfuckers today? And I didn't get an answer, so I'm just sitting here stalling until I get one. I have an inkling that I'll be talking to Peter today because there was something going on there that I heard something about. Hey, Julio. Hey, Donna. So I might do that. I might get to Peter at some point today. What I really feel is at this moment to tell you, think about what you get most pissed off about for a minute. And I knew beyond the shadow of a doubt who was going to nod first when I said that shit, and I was right. I'm just saying. I really did. You know, the shit that pisses you off the most, right? You know? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Nor does it piss on you. It's what you have the most emotion in you towards. And you keep faulting it and bitching about it and fighting it. And it's you. And you're perpetuating it. How much longer do you really want to keep doing that? Well, Brian, I don't know who I'd be if I wasn't furious about that shit. Brian, I'm afraid if I wasn't furious about it, it would do bad things and overtake me. I ain't Dr. Phil, but how's that working for you? You know that thing that always makes you feel the saddest? Does it really? Are you sure? Are you really sure that it is making you mad? It is making you sad. It is making you scared. Are you sure? How many of you have had something that most people would call really fucking terrible happen in the last 30 days? That most people would call really terrible. You've had something like that happen for you in the last 30 days. Almost everybody, and the rest of you are lying. Because see, I'm not asking right now, I'm not asking for level 5 conversation. So some of you that actually might not be lying. You actually haven't had anything that horrible happen in the last 30 days. Wait for the next 30 fuckers. Because life is going on. And what you haven't faced is rising to meet you. And it's all you. So what if you were to remember when that absolutely horrifically bad unfairness happens? That it's part of you showing up to be loved. would you still react the way you have been? You would. Really? You would, if you knew that what was showing up for you, the worst, terrible, mean, unfair badness, if you knew that that was actually not a horrible, unfair, terrible badness, it was just part of you showing up to be loved, you would meet it with the same fury and condemnation and criticism and battle axe badassness? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Oh, no, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. I've asked this question before, so I will ask it now. Everybody imagine. Only this time, you know what? I ain't going to fuck around. Close your eyes. And if you don't close your eyes and you don't let yourself get this, it ain't my fault. I did my part. Breathe deep and relax yourself. Breathe deep and relax yourself. You have my promise. Nothing is going to crawl out of the closet or out from under the bed and attack you. I promise. I'm watching for you. While your eyes are closed, I got your back. And if anything's coming at you, I'll give you a warning. I promise. Except Donna and Mary, I can't see them. So I'm not able to do that for them two right now. Relax and breathe. And imagine that it's a dark and stormy night. And you're warm and safe in your house. You have a full belly. You're feeling great. You had a nap today and a great night's sleep last night. And there's a knock at the door. And you're so comfy and cozy, sitting in your comfy place, that you take a minute to get to the door. And remember, it's a dark and stormy night. It's just starting to rain. The wind's picking up. And you look out, and on the ground, right outside your front door, is a baby in a basket. And there's a couple bottles of warm milk. There's a couple of diapers. Pretty much what you need to get through a day or so with a baby. And it's a damn good thing, because as you pick the baby up, like, what the hell do I do? I don't see. You pick the baby up, you bring it inside, figure you're going to call the cops. And right then the electricity goes out and the phone goes out. Lightning hit. And a big lightning bolt hits. And a tree falls across your car. So you can't drive anywhere to take the baby anywhere. Your phone went out, your electricity went out. Fortunately, you had lit a few candles, so you're actually good for the night. You're just not going to be able to take that baby anywhere. And the baby starts crying. And the baby is either scared or hungry or has a crappy diaper. And somehow you look down at the baby and you go, oh my God, this is me at 8 months. How? Wait, the Matrix. Wait a minute. This is kind of weird, because there was a dark and stormy night and I was all alone and comfy. And then there was a knock at the doorbell. I don't know how you knock on a doorbell, but anyway. Right after you pick the baby up and step inside, you think, well, do I need to take it somewhere? Do I need to call somebody? Right then, lightning hits, power goes out, phone goes out, a lightning bolt hits, tree falls on your car. You can't go anywhere. So you actually, wow, this is weird. And now I realize this little baby is me. And the baby starts screaming. And it starts screaming louder. What do you do? Do you throw it as hard as you can against a wall? Do you? Really? Not even you? Oh. Do you stomp on it? Do you try to out-scream the little fucker? Do you tell it how fucked up it is and how it shouldn't be that way? This little baby you don't? Well, why not? That's what you've been doing for the last 30, 40, 50 fucking years. Why not? That was me being a smartass, by the way. So what do? I'm going to make a guess, semi-educated guess, that you would hug it and you would talk softly, especially being that it's you. I mean, that's baby you. You might treat that one better than you treat another one. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Especially you. I'm going to make a guess of what you would do. You would check to see if it was hungry while you were talking softly and holding it close. Check to see if it's cold. Check its diaper. You would check to see what it needs so that you could comfort it, wouldn't you? So wait a minute. On a dark and stormy night, in the midst of inconveniences, electricity going out, phone going out, tree falls over your car, you're not going to walk out in the damn rainstorm carrying a baby somewhere, so you're stuck in the moment, so to speak. Now, you could throw the fucker out the window. Oh, I didn't see that baby. No, it was just, oh, look, next morning, dead baby in the yard. You could. Oh, you could turn on your shortwave radio and see if there's a baby hitman for hire that's in hearing range of your radio. There's a lot of shit you could do, but when it really comes down to it, in that moment of inconvenience, electricity's out, nothing you can do, can't go anywhere, storm's picking up, and you have a little baby you crying, you would actually love it, wouldn't you? You'd check and see what it needs. You would comfort it and soothe it. And how long would you go with that? I mean, would you be like, okay, if this bitch cries for 5 more minutes, I'm slamming it against the wall by the legs. Whap. I'm being very brutal on purpose because that is exactly how you've been treating yourself some of the time. Because you didn't recognize that it was you that you were slamming against the wall, criticizing, condemning, cussing, posting your vitriol about on Facebook. Worthless, stupid, fucking baby shows up on my porch. I'll kill it. Ah! That's what you've been doing. Brian, this is a really stupid, crazy, ridiculous example. Who don't worry about my ego. By now, boys and girls, we're catching on. We don't worry about that whole ego thing. Be honest. Who has already benefited from this crazy series of questions in this scenario? If you have, you can do the raise your hand, nod, whatever you feel good about. Oh, look at that. Everybody. So if your baby self were to show up crying and you didn't have a convenient way to offload that motherfucker, wait, let me see. I'll go masturbate and the baby will stop crying. I'll go turn on a movie and distract myself from this crying baby. Shit, I can't turn it up loud enough to not hear the baby. You would love the baby till it was comfortable and back asleep, no matter what, wouldn't you? Even you. So are you sure? Are you sure beyond the shadow of a doubt that that mean person at work isn't baby you? Are you sure? Are you sure that that tax agency threatening you isn't baby you? Are you positive? Are you sure that that medical diagnosis that they gave you isn't baby you? Are you sure beyond the shadow of a doubt? The person who's attacking you, are you positive beyond the shadow of a doubt that it isn't baby you? Well, Brian, it doesn't look like it. Maybe you ain't paying attention. Maybe you're so, I don't know if you noticed this, but you might want to notice now. I didn't start the scene with, it's a dark and stormy night, and you accidentally were doing the dishes and you dropped a sharp knife, which went through your foot, pinning your foot to the floor. You turn and twist the knife, falling over on a jar which breaks under your butt cheeks, slicing into your... I didn't start with that. You were comfy and relaxed in for the night, and you find a baby you. So what if you were standing there doing the dishes and the storm was picking up and you were stressing about your life, and in your pissed offness you knocked something and a knife fell off and went through your foot into the floor, pinning you to the floor? And as you fell, you twisted the knife and you broke a jar on the floor and you landed on it on your butt cheeks, and now you're lying there with a foot pinned to the floor with a knife, your butt and your thighs bleeding from the biggest veins and arteries. And there's a knock at the door. And it's your baby self. In which one of those cases might you be more beneficial to the little baby you at the front door? By the way, I didn't plan it that way when I said it, but now that I look back in retrospect, I'm sure glad that whoever was planning it when I said it the way they did. Because wouldn't you be more effective and more resourceful and more able to be quickly and fully loving to the little one if you were fed and warm and comfy and cozy when you got to the door? So then why do you keep choosing things that keep you on edge and not present in every moment that your baby self shows up to be loved? So with one example, I can say it might be wise, might be preferable. You might want to consider starting to take and make choices that help you to be comfortable and calm and present in case in the next second baby you shows up screaming, so you can meet it with love instead of doing what you've been doing. Best session ever. See you next week. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. I wasn't kidding about the best session ever. I was kidding about the see you next week, because I'm not going to be here next week. Just kidding. Now, I don't know how many minutes that was. I'm going to guess 15-ish. If you love yourself and if you'd like to start living the life you want to live, find out how to edit that 15 minutes out and save it on your phone and on your desktop of your tablet and your computer. Or buy a dedicated little video device and just put that motherfucker in the corner, plugged in and set to loop. What if when that unbelievably, horribly bad thing happens, it isn't an unbelievably, horribly bad thing? What if it's just a baby you showing up to be loved? It shows up screaming. dig what I'm saying? Could you do anything about this? Could you choose to use this? I mean, I know it's just another session where Brian just yaps endlessly about whatever's on his fucking mind. Or could you use it? Maybe both. Not sure how that applies to my situation. You don't know what's happening in my world. Motherfuckers treat me like shit. It's not fair. One thing after another. My roof caved in, and they keep bringing babies to the front fucking porch. I got a house full of screaming me's. Well, you better start calming down and picking up one of them. I mean, if you want to be happy. Sorry. I don't want to presume anything about you. Obviously, some of you don't. And that's okay. If you ever decide you do, the same invitation is waiting. Perhaps in another body, carrying the karma of this one, you stubborn motherfucker, you. So, Peter, did you have something to talk about today? Is that did I hear? Because I wasn't really listening, but
well, are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Yesterday was Christmas, and we had a party with the family, my family.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I noticed that being present in newer situations is a bit easier than in situations that you know about all your life, so such as family and.
Who is this you that we're talking about now?
Me.
Oh! So when you say you actually mean me. I got you.
I mean, yeah, I mean.
Okay. So it's important to notice that you switch that to a you on that topic, because you did not want that shit to be you. You were like, no, it's not me. I'm talking about you motherfuckers. Everybody just please nod and agree with me so that I can project this onto you fuckers and not have it be about me. And you also, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean when you say it is easier.
Yeah.
I also know that that's a motherfucking lie that will keep you trapped forever if you let it. So let's do the simplest thing possible, Peter. Close your eyes. And if you will, and even if you won't, do it anyway. Just say and feel. We were talking about how in some situations it is easier to stay present than in others. So say, in some situations, it is easier to stay present than in others.
In some situations, it is easier to stay present than in others.
Feel what's going on inside of your body. And say it again.
In some situations, it is easier to stay present than in others.
If you could just live a life where you just avoid the hard situations, life would be so great, wouldn't it?
Yep.
I just want easy situations forever. All right, so give yourself a little shiver, like you just gotta chill. Okay, and then if you will, say, up until now.
Up until now.
Some situations were easier to stay present in than others.
Some situations were easier to stay present in than others.
Feel everything going on in your body.
It feels more relaxed.
And what's the it?
I feel more relaxed.
Ah, yeah, more relaxed. Okay, so give yourself a shiver. And then if you will, just say out loud, up until now,
Up until now,
I perceived that it was easier to stay present in some situations than others.
that it was easier to stay present in some situations than in others.
But I'm not sure.
But I'm not sure.
I accept the possibility
I accept the possibility
that I could stay present
that I could stay present
regardless of the situation.
regardless of the situation.
See how your body feels now. What's different?
This is relaxation, yeah. This is, I feel, yeah, more here and now, and just.
Then when you were lying, a minute ago, you feel more at peace now than when you were lying a moment ago.
Yeah, correct.
Now I can understand the confused child in you or me saying it is easier to be present when I'm not around my psychopathic motherfucking family.
Yeah.
I'm sensitive to that. I understand.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's true though.
No, it meant that I was resenting a lot towards them.
Yeah. And you were sure that they were the cause of your not being able to stay present.
Yeah.
So let's do another one. And if you'll just say, being around my family makes me non-present.
Being around my family makes me non-present.
Now, part of you believes that's true, and your body feels like fucking shit when you say it.
Yeah. It's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was there about the situation that you didn't like?
Well, I just didn't want to be there.
You didn't want to be around your family?
No.
Who made you do it?
Because it's family.
Wait, whoa, hey, whoa, wait a minute, whoa. Sounds like a rule.
Yeah.
Okay, so who made you be around your family?
Something inside me made me just accepting it's the way it is, I think.
Ah, that's just how it is. On Christmas, you got to be around motherfuckers you hate.
Yeah.
It's Christmas.
Yeah.
So where did you go? Did they come to your house or you went to them?
It was at a place we rented with like a bigger venue.
Oh, you motherfuckers spent money so you could go suffer together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo! That adds joy to the whole fucking season right there.
I actually think some of them like it, so.
Oh, of course they do. Obviously, you're one of them.
Yeah.
Did you chip in?
What is?
Did you chip in money on going to do this, rent this place?
No, my mom pays for it all. So.
Ah, so mom is like, if I pay, these motherfuckers will come suffer with me for Christmas.
Yeah. I
And we
should get
all
a
go,
big
well, if
present.
mom spends the money, we got to go.
Yep.
So what was the most unpleasant about the whole experience? You, by the way, everybody knows who I'm talking to, right? I mean, we all have the best time ever with our family on holidays. This is okay. So anyway, what was the most unpleasant thing about it, Peter?
There was my physical sensation. I had a headache going on
Ah.
in reaction, I think.
Mm-hmm.
There were some awkward.
Did you choose to stay totally present and just feel those sensations every second?
No.
Ah, so you were throwing the baby against the wall and stomping on it and ignoring its crying.
Yeah, ignoring it and trying to
Do you figure that
get
made
away.
the experience more enjoyable?
No, it didn't.
I mean, ho ho ho.
Oh.
So this is deep shit right here, and who knew when I brought that whole baby thing up that we would get an immediate example. So you didn't grab the baby and hug it close and feel those sensations.
No.
Oh, and you were starting to tell me there was some awkward what?
Awkward conversations or starting of a conversation. Not really conversation, but things that were said.
Okay, so if you don't mind telling me an awkward conversation, because like I know an awkward person, like they walk like this, whoops, oops, and they're not. How does an awkward conversation? Do people get hit in? Do they?
No.
Does the conversation stumble and define an awkward conversation for me, please? Because I am so confused.
It's like someone is asking me a question about something, and I'm not really willing to have a conversation and try to.
Who was it?
I
Who was it
it,
that was who was trying to ask you a question? Tell me, give me one of those.
My sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law.
She's
So your
yeah.
sister-in-law is sitting there with you. Did she tie you to the couch in order to force this conversation? Did she stand over you with a stick?
No,
no. Okay.
No.
I'm getting more confused. But so anyway, your sister-in-law.
Yeah.
She was asking you questions and you didn't want to answer.
Yeah.
How'd you feel?
Some degree of anger.
Oh. Did you feel like it had anything to do with what she was asking you?
No, it had to do with who she is, I think. Yeah.
So you didn't really want to talk to her?
No.
Did you tell her that?
No.
Sounds awkward.
That is awkward, yeah.
So I would tell you, for whatever this is worth, and you may say that it's different with family, and I'm just going to go, huh? But anyway, the other day, Dev is very social, and I'm not exactly antisocial, but if I don't want to be fucking social, I'm not going to be. So she wanted to go next door for something. There was a bunch of people over there. I walked over. I looked around and I thought, how quickly can I escape? And I did. I just fucking escaped. Dev wants to be social. I don't. She's going to enjoy herself. And I got nothing against anybody here. I didn't know them enough to feel awkward with them. Maybe I didn't have enough attachment to how I was supposed to behave in order to feel awkward and think it was about them.
Yeah.
In any case, I just said, I'm fucking out of here. This ain't where I want to be, and I don't want to have any of these conversations. I don't have any inclination. I look around the room. There is nobody here that I feel, oh my gosh, I just can't wait to sit down and talk to that person. I walked out the fucking door. Could you have?
Theoretically, I could have.
Wait. This is a yes or no question. This is a yes or no question right here. Could you have walked out the door?
I could have, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I could have walked out the door. So close your eyes. Your sister's there. You didn't want to be there in the first fucking place. And now your sister-in-law's there. And she's talking. And you say, excuse me. Just see yourself. Say, excuse me. And you get up and walk out the door. You might turn to Elka. Was Elka there?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hey, Elka, I'm going to leave now. Would you like to go? So see yourself doing that. What do you lose?
I would lose maybe something that I don't have, but maybe think I had a little of them.
Oh.
Like respect, or
you would lose respect. So wait a minute. You got to sit there and take conversation you don't want.
Yeah.
Where's the respect in that?
There isn't.
There isn't. So I really appreciate the way you said that. And this is a testimony and a testament and an evidence of your expanding presence and expanding awareness. Because I'm just going to make the wild guess that a year ago, you would not have said, I might have lost something that I didn't actually have. You would have just said, I would have lost respect. Right?
Yeah.
Of course, I give myself credit for your expanding. Yeah, thank you. So now let me ask again. Sitting there on the couch, she's talking to you, about to ask you a question that you don't want to engage in. And you say, you know what? I don't, with all due respect to you as an infinite, unlimited being, I don't want to have this conversation. Maybe you don't jump up and leave right then. You just say, I don't really want to have this conversation. What do you lose?
Nothing.
Nothing. She might not like it.
Yeah.
She probably wasn't going to like your fucking answer anyway.
Yeah.
Especially if you told the truth. So you wouldn't lose anything. Now, what if you check in and see, what were you really feeling? So close your eyes. You're sitting on the couch there. Your sister-in-law is talking. Feel what you're feeling. Describe it. Everybody's on the couch with your sister-in-law, right? I'm just making sure nobody's like wasting this opportunity. Okay. You're sitting on the couch with a family member you have no desire to talk to. You don't really want to be talking to them. You're not enjoying it. You don't want to be doing this. You'd like to get the fuck out. And what are you feeling?
Fear, actually.
And if that little boy had to answer quickly without thinking, fear, I'm afraid of what?
I'm afraid of not fitting in.
Perfect.
And maybe if I say the wrong thing, I'm not fitting in.
Okay. So this fear of not fitting in, who's got one? Who's got one that they can feel? This fear of not fitting in. You might use a slightly different word. This fear of being rejected. This fear of losing respect. In this case, let's use this fear of not fitting in. Was it more that you don't like her for who she is, or was it more that you were afraid of not fitting in?
It was more not fitting in because it was not only towards her.
Don't need it
So,
because don't right. I'm with you. I'm
yeah,
with you. I'm with you.
yeah,
And you don't need to. So the fact is that when you said I don't really want, like, it was just discomfort with who she is. That wasn't actually true, was it?
no,
It was discomfort with who I am.
yes,
Discomfort of who I think I should be.
yeah.
So take a look in her eyes and take a couple of deep breaths and feel what she's been through. And accept the possibility that she might have been trying to ask questions that made her feel better about herself. She might have felt as uncomfortable as you did. Is it possible?
Yes.
I mean, we're all stuck in this place where a fucking crazy ass mom paid for the place, so we got to be there, or we're going to lose love and lose respect and not fit in. And we're supposed to be civil to each other, so we got to talk. We don't have nothing to talk about. We got nothing we want to talk about, but goddamn, we got to talk about something.
Yeah.
Maybe she felt as uncomfortable as you did. And maybe you were avoiding feeling the sensations, the physical sensations in your head and neck. So instead of choosing presence, could you have chosen presence in that situation?
I could have.
Would it have been necessarily harder than choosing presence in another situation?
No, and it would have made things easier.
I know what you mean by that, but I'm not so sure, which is why I really like the yes or no answers. I'm not sure it would have made things easier, but I know what you mean. So okay, check this out. We're just getting down in with the microscope right now, with the scalpel and the microscope. So if you'll just please say out loud, being present would have made things easier.
Being present would have made things easier.
Feel what's going on in your body with that. Even that statement. An innocent, innocuous, seemingly harmless statement. So give yourself a little shiver.
It's not, yeah.
Okay. And just say, up until now, being more present would have made things easier.
Up until now, being more present would have made things easier.
And one more shiver. Up until now, I perceived.
Up until now, I perceived
that things could be easier or harder.
That things could be easier or harder.
Present or not.
Present or not.
But I'm not sure.
But I'm not sure.
So are you positive that conversation was hard?
No.
Or are you positive it could have been easier?
No.
No, you just could have chosen to be more present and then chosen and then chosen. And you don't need to make it harder or easier in order for your way of handling it to be okay. It's really getting in some deep shit here now.
Yeah.
This is one, I'm going to make a wild guesstimate here. This is one that any of us could go back and watch 10 times. And if we really, really bring more awareness to it each time, we're going to hear, because what I'm saying right now is like so many levels beyond what we're normally used to thinking. I could have chosen presence.
I could have chosen presence.
And I didn't.
And I didn't.
And I forgive myself completely anyway.
And I forgive myself completely anyway.
So feel all that lightness just go through your body and all the stuff lifts out. So everybody that was at that thing wanted exactly what they gotten because everything happens for us all the time. No, you didn't violate anybody by doing what you did, including yourself. You just went through the experience and now you're here going, oh, presence in that situation too. In fact, you can bring presence to that situation right now. And you are. So sit on the couch one more time and look in your sister-in-law's eyes. And be breathing deep while you're looking in her eyes. Doesn't even matter what she's saying. Neither of you are awkward. The conversation isn't awkward. If you notice, you were just feeling unsafe. You were feeling fear. I want to fit in. I want to be safe. And getting around family, especially during the holidays, with all the associations that we have and all the emotions from all those unpleasant fucking holidays. Because listen, when you make something special, like a holiday, you guarantee suffering. What? What are you saying? When you make something special, you guarantee suffering. So Christmas is supposed to be a special day of the year, right? That makes them all totally full of love and bliss and comfort, doesn't it? Every Christmas has just been, everybody's radiating love and kindness and peace and warmth. And in fact, your fondest, most joyful memories are about all those special motherfucking Christmases, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nothing but. We don't even need any more. All we do is just sit and think about the last 20. How joyful, peaceful, harmonious, and full of radiant love. It's because we made it a special fucking day in the first place. Why? Remember what I started with? Remember me talking about time at the beginning of this? Okay, you ever notice how sometimes at the end of the session, the shit I said at the beginning that didn't make any sense all of a sudden makes sense? We don't have to wait till the end, do we? I was talking about time. If you're trying to get out of the minute you're in into the next one, oh, the year sucks so bad. Let's make Christmas special so we have something to look forward to. And we supercharge that day as a magnet for all of our fucking misery. Doesn't have to be that way. All my life, I hated holidays. And I would have a because of how my dad made them all so unbelievably miserable. He guaranteed, man, if it was a special day that was supposed to be happy, he was going to fuck that shit up and make it more miserable for everybody than all the other days that weren't special. And I was convinced that that was why I hated holidays. And I mean, I had a lot of evidence for it. Anybody else? You know? Okay, here's the thing. I realize now that I don't actually really like holidays. I don't really like the idea of holidays. I love days. I love now. I love me some now. Man, now is just right. And it's a day. If I check, I'm pretty sure today's a day. I'll bet Christmas happens on a fucking day. Love that day. I'm not so sure. I wonder if somebody created holidays to keep us even more stuck in the concept of time, looking forward and dreading.
Yeah.
Is it possible to truly look forward to something without dreading it? I wonder. I mean, if you're racing for the positive, you can't do it without running from the negative. Of course, neither of them exist, which is why it's true. I can't wait for that day. Fuck? What? Then you can't exist because what? And everybody says it, and everybody doesn't know that it doesn't mean anything. It just indicates our insanity. and perpetuates our suffering, looking forward to a special day. And you know, if anybody is special, then everybody else is shit. And if any day is special, then every other day is shit. And the more special I want it to be, the more shitty the other days have to be. I promise you this is more true than you're recognizing, even if you're like, holy shit, that's true. If nobody was ever trying to be special, they would never worry about fitting in. But if you're special, how could you ever fit in? You'd have to find a whole bunch of not special motherfuckers. And they're going to love you. Special bitch. Why does he get to be special? Now listen, if you want to, you might want to listen to this. If you want to be special, how are you ever going to fit in? It's impossible. If you want a special day, you got to make the other days around it suck. And because the whole thing is a total delusion of utter imaginary insanity, chasing your fame and fortune. What about what you are now? Which is everything. I don't want to notice that I'm already everything. I'm on a race to be special soon. On some special day. And then partly you're a little upset about how special everybody else is. How can I out-special these motherfuckers? And they're wearing their special holiday clothes. You think this spills over into every other day, Peter?
Definitely, yes.
Ask your mom to rent that place out on Easter and see if the conversations are less awkward.
Yeah.
So now just sit there with your sister-in-law and just look in her eyes and just be totally one with her for a minute. And you can feel, do I want to have this conversation or not? And if I don't, before I get up and run away from it, let me become present. And I'm just rolling down. Is anybody here in a relationship with any other human beings? Any relationship of any kind with any other human beings? Ever? Do you ever have any dealings with? Okay, you do. All right. If you do, then how about relationships for a minute? If you're in a relationship at work or with an intimate partner or a partner that you wish you were intimate with or a person you're in an intimate relationship that you don't want to be intimate with, and you really want to make your escape, you know what I'm talking about? Kind of like, isn't that just a microcosm of sitting on the couch with your sister-in-law and wanting to escape from the conversation? It's the same thing. Are you sure that you wanted to escape from that conversation, Peter? Are you positive beyond the shadow of a doubt you wanted to escape from that conversation?
I want to escape from the feeling.
Oh, so that's right, because you started with, I didn't want to talk with her because of who she is, but you're not even sure about that, are you? No. It was because of who you are. But actually, it wasn't even that. It was because of who you thought you were supposed to be.
Yeah.
You see how many layers of crazy is up in that shit? Have we all been doing that? I'm just checking in, but that don't sound like presence to me. I'm not sure. So maybe before we start a conversation with another person, we want to check in and be present. And maybe while we're in the conversation, we want to check in and be present. Peter, you could pull out a pen and paper and you could make a drawing of yourself sitting on the couch and make some captions around it. Desperately wanting to get out of this building, wanting to get away from these people, not wanting to have this conversation because of who she is, but what it really boiled down to is you didn't feel safe because, and I'm going to use a fucking because you weren't present. You didn't feel safe.
Yeah.
There is the possibility that had you chosen presence and had that conversation, you and she might have both undone some trauma in each other. And you would feel more comfortable in wider ranges of conversation from that moment forward. And that's available to you right now. You didn't miss it or lose it yesterday. Can you take this with you and have it continue to expand benefits into your life, dude?
I am.
Perfect.
And I will.
Perfect. Love you, buddy.
Thank you. Love you.
Deep shit right there. Man. Anybody else got anything they want to talk about? Well, everybody put your hands up at once. I will eat fucking raspberries for the rest of the session if nobody talks. These are good, so keep your hands down. It's fine. You might want to think and reflect for a couple more minutes to see. Oh, shit, there's Elka, and she's right by Peter, so. You are fucking up my raspberry festival, Elka, just so you know. What you got?
Ever since Florida, and even going to Florida, my body started giving me sensations, and up until now they're ongoing, and they remind me of a long time ago when I had the medical world telling me that I was sick. And
all right, this is beautiful. I'm going to interrupt you already, believe it or not. And I'm going to come in again with the scalpel and the magnifying glass in a very subtle place. And even the level 5 veterans are like, wait, I didn't hear her say anything. What's she do? What happened to it? Those of you that are getting skilled at level 5 diagnosing, so to speak, it's not exactly diagnosis. This is potentially the most subtle thing yet, Elka, and you are speaking it so consciously. And just keep breathing and don't lock yourself up. Open yourself back up. That's part of this. This or this. Now, just for a minute, be aware, how much of my time and how much of my life have I been leaning more towards this than this? This might take an arrow in the heart at any time. But then again, so might this. This doesn't make us safe. It indicates that we think we're not. So starting to choose this and then loving the one who keeps doing this, and then saying, hey, that is what we used to do. That is how we used to do it. Love you so much, and now we're going to go around like this. All right, now I'm with you. You said it reminds me, and I know exactly what you mean by that. Are you absolutely positive beyond the shadow of a doubt that these ongoing symptoms remind you of that?
That's how I perceive it.
That's right. So I'll ask you again. Are you absolutely positive beyond the shadow of a doubt?
No.
Oh, that's different.
The symptoms don't do anything. I do it.
That's right. That's right. So perhaps the ongoing symptoms are indicating to you, if you want to say this, something like, you could, if my little red light goes on my dash that says oil, it's not making me but it's indicating to me, if I want to notice the indicators in my life, it's indicating me that I might want to check my fucking oil. And if you're having symptoms, they're indicating something. They're not making you, they're not reminding you, they're not necessarily telling you something. They are indicating something, though. And that's a really simple word. And I don't know English to whatever the fuck you Belgian people speak, I don't know. But indicating, showing, revealing, making noticeable that there's something. Now, you could interpret that in a billion ways. What if you don't interpret it in any way? What if you notice that it's indicating something and you bring total presence to feeling it? And you have been more and more and more. And there actually isn't anything else. So let that be the only thing. I'm not going to stop there. I'm going to help you further. It's just, if I were you, I wouldn't necessarily like or enjoy or want to hear Brian tell me, just stay present to it. I wouldn't. You'd be like, okay, I'm doing that more than ever. It's the moments when you're not. It's the moments when you're thinking it means something. It's the moments when you tell yourself it's reminding you. It's those moments that you're not present. And though actually in the moments that you're just completely present, feeling the sensations, it doesn't bother you. You don't necessarily prefer it. And you might prefer, and maybe what you prefer lies on the other side of having fully felt those sensations. Maybe. Perhaps, maybe, there's a possibility that what's being indicated, or what that indication is bringing up in you, is actually the belief that you are sick, or that you're still sick. I saw a little nod there.
Oh.
Okay, so breathe in deep and feel the feelings that come up when you think I might actually be sick. Maybe they were right with that diagnosis. Maybe I never completely let the diagnosis go. Even when I let the symptoms go, maybe I secretly, unbeknownst to myself, had a part inside of me that believed that the sick was still there. Okay, so I will share something about me and Dev. Just stay curious and stay breathing. When Dev and I got together, she had a suspicion that she might have Lyme's disease. And I let her know my approach to diagnosis. I respect whatever anybody thinks. If somebody wants to believe they have anything, they're welcome to have it. And if you believe you have it, you'll be right. And she's very open-minded, very curious. And the part in her that believed that she might have, listen, when you find out about Lyme's disease and you believe that it exists, and then you go look on fucking WebMD.be, When you go look up Lyme disease and you see, oh, if you experience these symptoms, you probably have it. Oh, and if it's these symptoms, you definitely have it. And if you have it, it's just a matter, you get to the next paragraph, which is the prognosis, long-term prognosis. This is what's going to happen. This is what you can expect. And here's the horrible, inevitable outcomes. And what you had been diagnosed with had unpleasant, inevitable, long-term outcomes. So who the fuck is going to feel good believing they have that? So it's one thing to say, I'm with you on the non-diagnosis, Brian. I share the level 5. I'm not going to claim that I have it anymore. But secretly, I'm terrified that I fucking do, and I know what happens in the long run. It doesn't disappear just because of the becoming aware that you might not. And the same thing with death. So there were several times, any time that she started to feel tired, she'd go, oh, fuck, and it would remind her, but maybe it isn't reminding her. Maybe she's becoming aware that she hasn't released and loved that little screaming her. So the part of you that believes you have XYZ is perhaps wanting to be loved. The part of you that developed those symptoms in the very first place might be wanting to be loved. Is this making sense?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And I feel there might be a question, yeah, but, or a, yeah, well, what about? Okay. Yeah. So bring it on.
There's not one little baby inside of me screaming because I hugged that one little baby. I've been hugging her for as long as I know Peter. There's not one of them. There is an ongoing load of babies that need attention, and well, that's not very level 5-ish, but sometimes I get sick of them asking me attention. That's literally what I do. I get sick
I got a question for you. Who got sick? First answer, just no. Wait. I want you to spit this out after I ask it. If you want to, you don't have to. You ready? Who first got sick of you needing so much attention? That's not exactly just spitting it out. Don't worry about being right.
The one that was trying to get away from situations, and that's where but I'm thinking too much, I'm sure. When you said that you sometimes want to get out of being in a place with other people, that's what you were telling to Peter before. What I was thinking about was, isn't that creating a situation that you want to get out of? Or isn't that creating a way to get out of it? And I think that's what I have been doing a long time. Creating illness or the symptoms to get out of something.
I'm gonna interrupt.
Please do.
It's the first time I've ever done this. I'm just gonna interrupt. So I hear you, but what if nothing is creating anything? What if you're only seeing reflections on the net of gems? So that's just a maybe to distract you from all that shit you've figured out so masterfully there, which might or might not be true. So I'm going to ask you the same question in a very slightly different disguise. Did you have any siblings when you were little?
Yes.
How many?
3 older brothers and a sister that died before I got there.
Okay. 3 older brothers and a sister who left her body before you were born. How much time and attention did you perceive when you were little that your parents had for you personally?
Far too much.
They had too much attention for you. Tell me what that looked like. What was too much?
I was the youngest. I came after a sister that left her body, and then 3 boys, and then after a long while me, and I was the girl, and I had to make the every expectation. I had to make sure that I was the girl that did everything right. So I had my parents hoovering a bit over me. So far too much attention.
Far too much attention.
But I didn't perceive it at that moment to be too much.
Maybe you wouldn't have used those words, but maybe you did. We are feeling in our adulthood the feelings that we felt constantly when we were little. We get addicted to them, and we keep reflecting them out on the net of gems until we deal with the source of those feelings. That's just the way I see it. Don't take my word for it. Okay. Too much attention. You were getting more attention than you wanted. But was that true, or was it types of attention that you didn't want?
Types of.
Oh, well, that is so different.
Yes.
That's so different. Because if they were just bringing you like everything you wanted to eat, hand and foot, and waving fans for you, and, you know, bringing you gifts, and that was all there was, you'd be like, oh, yeah, more of this is fine. That's not too much attention. So what was one type of attention that you most didn't want that you got a lot of? One specific thing.
Around the age of 12, 13, 14, I got I had the feeling that they were watching me the whole time, looking what I was doing, if I was doing everything that I should be doing as a good girl, or if I was gonna make a mistake or maybe rebel too much. And
What were they most trying to prevent you from doing?
Going on the wrong path.
According to them.
According to them.
They were trying to prevent you from going down the wrong path, and they were controlling you. And who all was doing it? Was it just mom and dad, or did they have the brothers involved?
My brothers too.
Oh. Were any of them going down the wrong path?
All of them, but they were allowed to.
Oh, and that made it even more unfair.
They were boys. My mother literally said, when I farted, she said, that's not something a young girl should do. But my brothers were allowed to fart the hell out of it all day long. It doesn't matter. But I was a girl and I wasn't supposed to fart.
Yeah. And those boys couldn't get pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your sexual nature was discouraged.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That just landed on something right there.
Yes.
So close your eyes and feel how much you had no privacy. You didn't feel safe asking questions about things that you naturally were beginning to want to know and understand. You're being squished on all sides, so to speak. Everybody's opinions, everybody's trying to keep you from being a sexual being, while your sexual nature is rising up like a flower inside of you, and you got nowhere to turn. But those motherfuckers are out doing what they want to do. Like basically taking turns doing watch shifts over you. They go fuck somebody, and then they all come watch you so you don't fuck nobody. Just to put it in the simplest terms. It's not really that simple, but it is. And you didn't feel safe asking questions, because if you even started to show any of your sexual nature, that wasn't welcome. So you would start to close up in order to be okay. You definitely could get, quote, tired of it. You could easily get, quote, sick of it. So I don't know, when they talk about that MS thing, it's basically being sick and tired. No joke. So, sick and tired. Would you say that you have felt to some extent sick and tired?
Yes.
Yes. So feel that, sick and tired. Tired of feeling sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. So bring up feeling sick and tired. And feel it with all the emotional stuff and all the stuff that brothers might have had to do it, parents might have had to do with it, being squashed and controlled on all sides, not having any room to expand into your true self, having to shut it down for them to be okay. All that crap, sick and tired. You feel it pretty heavy? Pretty strong? Okay. I retrieve all of my energies.
I retrieve all of my energies.
Bound up in this feeling of being sick and tired.
Bound up in this feeling of being sick and tired.
And I take all those energies back.
And I take all those energies back.
To the perfect place in my true self.
To the perfect place in my true self.
Feel into your cells and feel into your organs and feel into your muscles. And I'm going to say this more poetically than literally. It's like little heavinesses all dissolving and turning into lightnesses. Little dense chunks of matter actually filling up with bubbles and turning into effervescent energy, sparkling in your cells. Undoing any heaviness. Melting and dissolving any like plutonium, any heavy metals, any density in the cells and in the atoms. And as you breathe in, you can actually feel the molecules of the air, which is actually blinking lights, going into those cells. And as the old heavy atoms come right out through that exhale, the new lightness comes in with the next inhale. And you can choose and intend this from now on. The old heavy goes out with every exhale and the new light comes in, remaking the cells. And if every atom in my body is replaced every 22 months, every single atom in my body, from the enamel in my teeth to the marrow in my fucking bones, comes up and out and is replaced. Every single atom in my entire body is replaced in less than 2 years. It's utter nonsense to think that a disease could stay in my body for 2 or more years, unless I'm holding on to it unbeknownst to myself. Now, you know, those Belgian people are fucking crazy, man. And wherever Belgian people came from are fucking crazy. People are just fucking crazy. I don't know where all these ideas came from. I don't know whose great-great-grandma got shut down sexually and she carried that shit and passed it to her daughter, to her daughter, to her daughter, to her daughter. Oh, fuck. And then somebody would set it up to where they would be born not only with 3 fucking watchdog brothers in a sexually trapped family, but have a sister come through and leave her body quick so that everybody's like, well, we can't let this one leave. We're going to have to hold on to her and make it even more of a prison for herself. I remove all non-me energies.
I remove all non-me energies.
My mom's
My mom's
and my entire feminine lineage.
and my entire feminine
Feminine
lineage.
From my dad and the entire patriarchal lineage.
From my dad and the entire patriarchal lineage.
From all my family.
From all my family.
From religion.
From religion.
And all societal systems.
And all societal systems.
Related to this feeling of being sick and tired.
Related to this feeling of being sick and tired.
And I remove it from all my cells.
And I remove it from all my cells.
From all the atoms in my DNA.
From all the atoms in my DNA.
From all my bodies in all dimensions.
From all my bodies in all dimensions.
And from my personal space.
And from my personal space.
And I send it back to its pure, pristine origins.
And I send it back to its pure,
pristine
origin.
In infinite possibilities.
In infinite possibilities.
Nothing has to be what it was. And nothing has to be what I thought it was. I don't fucking know. I was pretty sure there, but nothing has to be what it was, and nothing has to be what I was sure it was, and I'm not even sure that I was that sure. I don't fucking know. I just curious. Peter was pretty sure about a couple things. I've been sure about a whole bunch of shit, but I don't really know. And the minute I don't know, infinite possibilities are here again. I observe people seeing symptoms and labeling groups of symptoms into diagnoses, which they then want to sell me prescriptions for. I don't subscribe. Now, when you were saying that, you know, the symptoms were there and they were ongoing and it was reminding you, perhaps what you called it is reminding me of when I was, maybe that was a reaction to that feeling of being sick and tired. I mean, in some way, it kind of obviously was, but maybe it was in more ways than I know. Maybe in the first place, if I ever was sick, I don't know that I was, but if I ever got sick, maybe I got sick in self-defense, reacting to this goddamn feeling of being sick and tired. I don't know. If I get sick enough, those motherfuckers might leave me alone.
The opposite.
Doesn't mean that she didn't think it. Maybe they won't leave me alone. Maybe they'll stop giving me. Maybe it never was about getting too much attention. Maybe it was about getting attention I didn't want. You want to say something? Go for it.
In those days, a long time ago, my mother once said, seeing that you are being sick, you will not be able to take care of yourself, so I will be taking care of you forever and ever and ever, financially and in any way that you would like or need. And that should be something sweet, but it's not.
Should it? Should it?
Or she meant it as something sweet.
Right.
She
Well,
wanted.
Elke, she meant all of it as something sweet. Partly. She partly meant it all to keep herself okay.
Yeah.
Now, that's not necessarily unsweet, but we're all selfish and we're all selfless. And depending on how we were raised, we're either trying to learn how to be more selfish or we're trying to learn how to be more selfless. And often when we're trying to learn how to be more selfish, all the guilt that we put between ourselves and that comes up, so everybody's batshit fucking crazy. And the truth is, there's no more selfish and selfless than there is positive and negative. It's all perceptions, it's all ideas. And your mom was doing her best to be selfless, tricking herself that she wasn't controlling you, being totally fucking selfish. Don't take my word for it. Just check in and see if you can find any truth in it. She was absolutely, totally fucking selfless, wanting to take care of you for the rest of her life. And she was so fucking selfish, wanting to take care of you for the rest of your life. And you were like, motherfuck, the last thing I want is you taking care of me more. But then there was also the desire, that there's some comfort in that. So you get to love it and hate it.
Yes.
Well,
So
go ahead.
I bring something that I like in some way by being sick, or
that is entirely probable. It's so probable that it's true, but I don't want you to take my word for it. Listen, I personally believe, let's don't talk about, for the moment, let's don't talk about people that are experiencing a life-threatening illness before 6 or 7 years of age. When did you get diagnosed?
When I was 19.
Okay. So when we talk about people coming into life with a supposed illness or a supposed birth disability or, shit like that, that's a different topic, and it's not even relevant to what we're discussing here. So I always leave that out for multiple reasons. I personally perceive and experience that everybody who developed a supposed illness after age 7, 8, 9, they did it to get away from something, and or they did it, the illness is arising from the emotions that they are desperately trying not to feel. Now, I cannot, at this moment, I don't know how to exactly prove this 100%, but I'm going to tell you something. I haven't seen an exception yet. I believe that anybody with any disease, no matter what it is, well, first of all, they don't actually have the fucking disease, but that's okay. Anybody with any disease, no matter what it is, if they were to choose to become fully present and to breathe with full presence and maintain it, I believe they would breathe that illness right the fuck out. Haven't seen an exception yet. I personally believe that we can breathe a tumor out, but that doesn't mean the giant grapefruit-sized chunk flies out your nose. That's not what I mean. How did the motherfucker get in there? Isn't it the stuff we took in that we made into that? So you could say something like, what we breathed in and ate, plus our emotions, turns into our disease.
What we believed?
Well, okay, so our universe is everything we think and believe that we know, tangled up. Most of it's hidden from us by us, and then most of that's tangled up, or much of that's tangled up with emotions that we don't want to feel, so we don't let ourselves. And if we didn't believe it, it couldn't happen in the first place. So I'll be happy to add what we think and believe that we know. So what we eat and drink, we're eating and drinking it while we're thinking and believing that we know things that are hidden from us by us, tangled up in emotions that we don't want to feel. And a clone of us, it'd be great to do some experiments with this. So why don't we start right now by breathing? Be great to do an experiment is if we could take a clone of Elka and we could at 12, 13, 14, have her meet Brian and breathe all those emotions out and see if she, at your age today, has any sick and tired. I don't know. So let's do this. Accepting the possibility that much of what's going on in your life might be reactions to this feeling of being sick and tired. Feel your body and feel the power of your intention, and accept that the universe that arises is the mirror of all of your intentions, mixed up with everything you think and believe that you know, the vast majority of which is hidden from you by you, a lot of it tangled up in emotions you don't want to feel. And just say and feel your body respond. I retrieve all of my energies.
I retrieve all of my energies.
Bound up in all of my reactions.
Bound up in all my reactions.
Seen and unseen.
Seen and unseen.
Known and unknown.
Known and unknown.
To this feeling of sick and tired.
To this feeling of sick and tired.
And I take all of those energies back.
And I take all of those energies back.
To the perfect place in my true self.
To the perfect place in my true self.
And just feel however much relief is there. Relief. Relax. Going back, returning to my natural state of lightness. Relief. Relax. Release. And if there's any part of you that believe that you were sick and you start to feel a symptom, every amount of thought you give to the thoughts and the beliefs is less presence you're giving to the sensations. Some profound shit right there, ain't it? Every smidgen of attention that you're putting onto the thoughts and worries and considerations is less presence applied to the sensations themselves. So there's your indicator light. Oh, the gauge is swinging over to this side. Let me go in and feel these sensations with everything I got. They're not bottomless. They are not bottomless. And when you accept the possibility in its entirety, I could be dead in the next 12 seconds. I could leave my body in the next 15 minutes. I could leave my body in the next hour. I'll be just fine, regardless. When you admit that to yourself, this is something that I've been feeling more and more aware of and more choosing for myself. The samurai practice of waking up in the morning and reading their death list. Today's a great day to die. Making absolute joyful peace with death. I'll be fucking fine. I've always been fine. Who cares? Then it's not a fear. It's not a thing to fear. It's not a thing to perceive fear about. Nor is it a thing to worry about the person closest to me dying either. It's a good day for them to die. It's a good day for a nuclear holocaust. It's a perfect time for me to exit this body. Nothing to worry about. So then all of a sudden, if I even think the thought that I might have a life-threatening illness, which is nonsense, but if I did think that I did, I'd be all right. Okay. So let me feel these sensations and milk every second out of this life. I'm so much more effective at going for what I prefer after I've made peace with what is. I'm so much more effective at picking up that baby off the front porch and holding it and seeking to understand it after I've breathed myself into presence first. I'm so much more effective at getting through the next conversation to where there's no more awkward or unawkward conversations. It's just a conversation. No more awkward holidays. There's no more special days. There's no more feeling that I need, that my days are so shitty that I need a special day in the future in order to give me a reason to keep going. So what's up for you right now, Elka?
Feeling dizzy, feeling warm, hot. Very light-headed.
Is that different from what you've been feeling? Okay. So very often when we feel lightheaded, when we feel dizzy, sometimes when we feel like, whoa, too much, that's actually our energy returning. It's just that we had turned it off so completely that we perceive it as too much, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's not too much. Maybe this high is my new low. I'll get comfortable here and then I can breathe even further into my presence and let more of me come back. Mom was scared to death of me being my full self. So I quit being my full self partly for her. And then I get the curse and the blessing of her forever care. All right, I'm going to wrap this session right here. And I invite you, thank you, Elka. I invite you to actually just continue this session after I click the button. Just continue the session. Keep right on breathing. You don't have to go back to your habits. Breathe all the way down into every single cell. Do you really need to keep just enough of that misery to make sure that you don't lose? Really? Well, Brian, if I make peace with everybody, they will have won. You sure? I will, as always, upload this as quickly as possible. Definitely recommend multiple watches. And I love you. Aloha.